this is the most important thing I think we as devs have ever done, John.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Uh,
There's nothing more important that we could be doing right now. Like
absolutely
working
not.
on script
Absolutely
or
not. This is the
or
most
or
important
making
thing.
assets.
No, this right here. This is the most important thing we could be doing as devs. All right. This is a tier list of all Markiplier characters, that are played by him specifically. This isn't
Yeah.
fan characters. This isn't characters of his that are played elsewhere. Unfortunately, there's a couple that got left off, like Dave from Edge of Sleep, because we couldn't find a good picture. Dave is immediately S tier. Uh,
And there's some that we've like elected to leave off just because they're kind of repetitive, like Mini Bing.
yeah, and we aren't splitting up Celine, Damien, and the DA. They're being kept together as Darkiplier. That being
Do
said,
they know that? Do they know that DA is the third person in Darkiplier?
everybody knows DA is the third person in Darkiplier. That's
Yeah.
canon. It's DA's body.
Well, it's DA's body, but it's always unclear on whether or not we're in. It was
John.
always unclear on whether or not if. I'm just saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do this because I have other stuff to do too tonight. So let's do this. This is gonna be great.
Same. I have to be in bed by 12.
So our first one, actor Mark.
Okay, so I'm gonna so.
Oh yeah,
so
we should probably
people
say
are
what
gonna.
our criteria are. How baby they are and how bastard they are. And if they're bastard, it's if they are likable enough to be good characters and well fleshed out characters, or if they're just completely
It's stinky
irredeemable.
vibes versus. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
stinky vibes versus good vibes,
yeah.
basically, based on our own opinions, obviously.
There's baby, there's bastard, and then there's irredeemable bastard. And it says
And there's FNAF
irredeemable,
music.
and there's no, that was zombies. And
Ah,
it's those irredeemable bastards that are going to be interesting to get to.
so so
Yes.
I'm gonna spark some controversy, and I've talked about this on the dev on the Power of Friends public server.
Yes.
Actor is very low on the list. He's very low on the list, but I would not put him at the very bottom. I think I'd put him like second from the bottom.
I agree, although I'd actually here's my thing. I'm going to put him at B. And now here's my reason. He's actually a well enough fleshed out character to be interesting.
That is true.
He's not one of the best characters, and he's definitely not baby or likable bastard. But he's a well fleshed out villain, and I enjoy him.
I would also like to say, on the topic of irredeemable characters, actor is not one of those people that I place into the irredeemable category.
He's not irredeemable. He's not a good person.
Not, he's not a good person, but he's not irredeemable because in my view, actor does things for a reason. It's not a good reason, but he's doing them for a reason. There's some other characters on here that do them for no shit, fuck all reasons.
I'm thinking that these might have gotten slightly fucked in being added in, so we're gonna just have to. All right. Anyway, did these get slightly fucked? That. Hold on, I think they did. Yeah, they did. Let's go portrait. That's probably gonna be the better one. Hold on. Everybody ignore this. Okay, that's better looking. Okay. Yeah, anyway, yes. So he goes into B tier.
Yep.
Alright, our next one that's showing up here is... actually, let's go with order of list importance to me. The next one is going to be Darkiplier. I'm biased,
and I want to put him in S.
I'm very biased. I want to put him in S, but here's the reason why, and it's not just because I love him, and I've always loved him. Darkiplier is an extremely complicated and interesting person. And of the redeemable... I actually put him on the list of extremely redeemable egos, because as much as he does bad things sometimes, and has done bad things, there is a reason for it, and there is a redeeming quality to Darkiplier in the end, in my personal opinion, as a fan of the egos. That's my opinion.
He's also not just doing it for a reason that is just a reason, because actor is doing it for a reason too, but his reason doesn't justify his actions. Whereas I kind of feel like Dark's does justify his actions.
So I'm putting him up in S? Or should he go in A? Like, what are we thinking here? He's definitely one of these two tiers.
Here's the thing. I don't consider... S is where I would put people who I don't consider anyone to be better than them, and Dark is one of those people. Like, if you put Dark in B, who's one of the people that you would consider better than
I wouldn't consider a lot of his characters better than Darkiplier. There are certain characters that just are up there, and that's just where they go.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So that's where I would put Dark, personally.
Okay. So, our next one, of course, is going to be Wilfred Warfstache. And now here's the thing. I'm also kind of wanting to put him here. And it's because...
So...
Yeah, go.
Just so that we have a little bit of discussion about each of these characters, kind of feel like you should go in A.
In A? Okay, give me your reasoning, because I am also deeply biased, so that could be why I wanted him in S.
I know. So, how do I even begin to explain this? Okay, so again, with the redeeming qualities thing, and kind of how things are played out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wilfred has powers and abilities that kind of make it seem like time is a bit fucky when it comes to him. And because of that, we don't really know what his body count is.
We don't know his body count. We don't really know, like... I find him an extremely well-written and emotional character, and I deeply love him.
Yeah.
But we don't get to see enough of how he truly feels about things, and a lot of times we have to just kind of guess and project things onto him.
Mm-hmm. My opinion is that he is justified in his actions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just as in all murder cases are, even when somebody is mentally unstable? Even when someone's mentally unstable in murder cases, there is a point in time in which they become irredeemable. And because we do not know Wilfred's body count, I would put him in A, because I don't
So you're basically... You're putting him in A because you feel he's less redeemable than Dark.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
That is the only exclusion. That's the only thing that's keeping me from putting him in S.
I will absolutely accept that.
Yeah.
I will deeply accept that. He's a very emotional and good character, but he's an extremely complicated character. Even as just William Barnum, he was extremely complicated. But we're both agreeing that he's less redeemable than Darkiplier.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's done some fucked up shit.
All right. So our next one is going to be Google.
Oh God.
I'm going to say something that people are going to get mad at me for.
Oh, please do.
Google is not a good character. He's not very well fleshed out at all. I wouldn't say he's one of the worst characters or a shit character or a totally irredeemable character, but he's kind of boring because there's not enough for him. He's had a few videos and his entire character seems to be, I'm glitchy, I'm here to spook a couple people, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. He's an interesting concept, right? Because
he's an amazing concept.
He's an amazing concept because he's like the physical exploration of those weird AUs people make where they're like, what if this person was this website? And that gets done a lot more than I think people realize. But he's a physical representation of that, but he doesn't get explored enough as a character for me to feel any very close emotional ties to him, which is why in Meridian we're fucking like it with him.
In Meridian we're going fucking off the walls with Google.
Which let me just say, Ben has done an amazing job fleshing out him as a character with so little.
That is the issue too that we have to deal with because we're so entrenched currently in characters that we've been writing for and fleshing out for a couple months now, that we're dealing with a small bias. I think what we'll do is we'll revisit this as just specifically them in Meridian and show how we feel about them in as non-spoilery as a way possible. But this is for now how we feel just Markiplier's egos themselves are.
We have other things on the planner. I still want to do that stream.
Yeah, same.
Soulscape, because it seems like people are confused on what's happening in the Jacksepticeye plotline, and I kind of feel like before we go on to Meridian, we should touch there.
We'll talk about that later, though, because I have dinner and you have to go to bed, so we do have to continue moving down this line. Okay.
Right, let's go.
Okay, so next one in line after Google is host. I actually kind of want to put host further up than Google, because host we actually do have a lot more story for. He's had very few videos, and there's a lot about him that is mysterious, but he still is a little more fleshed out, I feel, than Google. And he's also doesn't have a body count. Google probably does. Let's be real. But
Google, I don't know because it also depends on how we dive into hosts as a character, because some people consider a host and author to be two separate people. Like,
I consider them, I believe they actually are the same. I think that's been confirmed that they're the same character.
No, I don't mean like separate people as in like they share different bodies. I mean separate people as in like they vary personality wise. Either way, I do agree that they delve more into. Host gets more character than Google does in one video than Google did in two.
I think Host got more in one video than Google did in all of Google's videos combined.
Google only has like three videos in total, and Host has like two. He has the one that contains all of his beginning lore and like the like just when he was formed, and that one trailer of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has the Markiplier TV stuff. But Google has two fully fleshed out videos for him and the Markiplier TV stuff, and still I feel like Host is a more interesting and depth character.
Well, technically, if you count the host and the author as the same person, Host actually has way more videos than Google too.
Really?
Mm-hmm. The author was two different videos. There was a short video for the host, and then the host made an appearance in Markiplier TV.
Okay.
Alright, so I put him here on Marcus because I don't feel like he's as fleshed out as these two, and he's definitely not the level of redeemable that Dark is. And I honestly think that technically he's probably up here, but because he's not fully fleshed out enough as Wilfred is, I'm putting him down here with author.
Yeah.
Or not author, actor, whatever.
I actually would like to touch down. Oh, okay. We can do him first.
Which one are we doing first?
I was gonna say, to tackle it out of the way, because he falls into the same line as Google, we should probably put Bing on the same line as him.
Yeah, well, Bing's pretty baby, but
Bing is pretty baby, but I don't think that makes up for the.
I'm gonna say that lack of... Bing doesn't have even as much personality as Google. Like, Google has way more personality than Bing does canonly.
Canonically, Bing's whole personality is memes and funny bits.
Yeah, he's kind of dude bro.
He's kind of dude bro. So I wouldn't put him. Maybe I'd put him like the line below Google.
Like here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bing lovers. I swear, I'm kin with
we
him,
love
so
them.
I know.
I love almost every single person that we currently have here. So far, everyone I put up is a character I deeply love, but I'm going completely off of redeemable and if they are good characters that have been well fleshed out at this point in time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Bing is not. There's going to be a lot of characters in D and E tier. Okay. Since we're handling this, let's get Eplie going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Eplie actually probably goes with Bing. And I love Eplie, but as a character on his own, the most we know about him is that he has a tendency for the dramatic. Well, I guess we know about as much of him as we know as Google, actually. He has a little more
I want to say,
personality.
yeah, I want to say it depends on whether or not you're including the surgeon simulator
I am.
videos in his lore. Because if you are, then I would say that he goes with Google.
Okay.
Because that gives a lot more in depth into his character than just the small clips of him in Markiplier TV.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I'm sorry, you're dying. Even though that's his main funny bit, and if it was just that, like if it was just that joke, I would put him down with Bing.
But because he actually has more lore and more to him because of other videos, he goes up with Google.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying they're like boring characters or bad characters. They just aren't
for the record,
well
we
written.
love all of them.
Yeah, again, we love them all. The ones that are going to be interesting when we get to them are the ones that I actually despise. Those are going straight F tier. Bim Trimmer.
But I think me and Blake are still. Oh God.
I'm putting Bim Trimmer with Bing. He doesn't have much personality.
I don't.
Okay, what do we know about Bim Trimmer? He's a cannibal.
So I think that itself is a pretty unique character trait that's really controversial.
It's a... Oh, God damn it!
Hi!
Here, hold on. Let me put Bim back here for a second. No, get in here. You have to say hi to your kid fully this time. If you're gonna come in here and fucking scare the shit out of me. We're doing a tier list for the POF G YouTube. And you... Yeah.
Oh God.
Hi, child.
No. We're not doing a tier list of the devs. We're doing a tier list of Markiplier characters.
Oh God.
Because somebody there was stuff on Discord that happened.
If we did a tier list of the devs, everybody would be on top of me. Just put me on the
No,
bottom,
that is
like
incorrect. John just said he'd be under everybody on the tier list. No, that he would be. He would not. Everybody on the team is on S tier. Except me.
Lies! Lies and slander. You're the most important person on the team. Alright. Let's get back to work.
You're D for David.
Please tell David and tell David and Taylor that I love them very much, but they need to bugger off.
We also put Wilfred as A tier.
As it should be. Though personally, I'd go up one.
Yeah, we're going off of redeemable qualities, how good they are as characters, and how baby they are. That's why Wilfred's A is because he's actually pretty baby and he's a really good character, but he's less redeemable than Darkiplier.
His motives are understandable.
His motives are extremely understandable.
His motives are understandable, but we don't know his body count.
Dark has mental illnesses.
So does Wilfred.
I'm aware. So does most of Mark's character.
Because Wilfred displays paranoid schizophrenia.
He does. You're right. Anyway, that got deep.
Get the fuck away from
Alright, Bim Trimmer's a cannibal.
Bim Trimmer's a cannibal. He's very egotistical. He believes that he should be on TV all the time.
Okay.
As the main character.
He's only had one video and then Markiplier TV.
Mm-hmm.
He also... He endangers his contestants like it's no... Like, he made Dan Avidan jump into a meat grinder from 20 feet in the air.
We also don't have a reason for why he is a cannibal. Because to our knowledge, he's just a cannibal. Which to me feels like I'd put him maybe on C tier?
C tier?
I think he's... My personal
he
opinion
has as
is
much
that
personality.
I think he's likable. He's... I don't know, his personality resonates as more likable to me.
No, here's the thing though, if we're going honest with this, he has about as much fleshed out character as both Googleplier and Dr. Eplier. All right, we're just not even gonna. Ed Edgar's a child. Ed Edgar literally sells children.
And he enjoys it.
And he enjoys it, and he's trying to sell his own son. He is F tier. I hate this man. This man must die. I fucking hate Ed Edgar.
Burn the cowboy.
Yeah, burn him. He doesn't deserve to look like a cowboy.
Very much.
Okay.
Very much.
I will come
Very true,
join you
very
guys
true.
with the VR stuff, though, in a second. Okay. Ed Edgar's a fucking horrible person, and I hate him. Okay.
I thought you were gonna.
He's not a whore. He does not deserve the title of whore. You know who's a fucking whore? Probably Wilford. But
There. Who's? What? Let's get this out of the way as well. Let's get the other one out of the way.
the other horrible person? Yeah,
Yeah,
fucking
the
Derek
other horrible
Derrickson.
person.
Fuck him. He actively neglects
because you
and
went on a
abuses.
rant.
Ugh.
Yeah, he actively. So as I'm sure that it's clear from Soulscape that the devs have put all of their trauma into that game. So it's very understandable to realize that when we see a character who's abusive to their own child, it's
Derek
kinda,
Derek
we hate
Derrickson is the father of a handicapped young man who lost his entire family and his mom and his dog and I think his girlfriend canonly.
I don't know about his girlfriend part. But
I heard about the girlfriend one, but basically everything else I just listed he lost canonly. And yet he still continues to neglect and abuse his son and actively tell his son that he wishes that any of his brothers had lived and he hadn't. He pushes Eric into a mental state of just full despair and guilt and wishing he had been the one to die, but also trying to make it up to his father and trying to be something he isn't. I fucking hate Derek Derrickson. That's where I stand.
Yeah. So, and I don't think it should come as a surprise when people watch this video that we find these two irredeemable, because we've said it before, and to be honest, I don't think that those opinions will ever change. So yeah, that's where we stand.
All right. We have now reached an interesting point. So let's start with heist characters. Wait, no, there is one more person. King of the Squirrels. S tier character.
Really?
No, no, unfortunately, he goes in D tier with Bing. If we're being honest, he's not fleshed out enough as a character. His character is put peanut butter on face and say that he's King of the Squirrels.
Yeah, we don't have any. I'd actually stand to argue that I might put him even lower
like
than Bing,
E tier.
because again, so yeah, because here's the thing, right? I said this back with like Dr. Eplier. If Dr. Eplier's only thing was being a dramatic doctor who came in and said, "I'm sorry, you're dying," which is basically what King of the Squirrels does. Which he's a king of the squirrels. He runs around his yard and he screams, "I'm king of the squirrels," and that's all he does. We never get to hear anything else from him. Despite being one of Mark's oldest characters, that is all he has ever said.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's true.
Even though I love him, and even though Soul basically info dumped to me an entire book's worth of plot information for King.
This brings up, we need to do a tier list later on for our versions of them, as opposed to...
We really do.
I mean, certain standings are not going to change.
Pictures.
Certain standings will never change. But as far as this goes... Alright.
Next.
So, let's start with... let's get him out, too, because we did cover Derek. So, Eric Derrickson.
Oh, true.
I'm actually... What's up?
I want to put him in S tier.
Yeah. No, that's what I was going to say, too. Not only... he is one of the most baby of babies in Mark's. He's the literally most redeemable, most innocent character of all of Mark's characters, in my opinion.
Eric Derrickson. Eric Derrickson is likable for multiple reasons. First off, I'd like to make it known that Mark played this, like, as a theater kid myself, Mark played this character so incredibly well. Because Mark's entire bit, like, for most of his channel, has always been that he's this really outgoing, very proud, kind of almost egotistical guy. That's how I would put Mark as a character. And you can tell that a lot of his characters are really loud like that. Eric is the one exception. He's very shy. He's very much playing towards that traumatized kid that Eric is. And I thoroughly enjoy him as a character. He has no body count. I love him. He's so great.
I honestly, I was even gonna say, the thing is, he has more backstory given to us than a lot of characters. He has more than Google. He has more than Host. He has some of the weirdly most full-fledged, like, fleshed out character development.
Mark sat on camera and gave us an entire speech about... Oh, hang on. Daddy wants you to... Okay. Sorry. Keep going?
Alright, yeah, that improves. We need to continue and hurry through this. Alright,
yeah,
no more big speeches. Eric has extremely wonderful backstory. He is baby. He is completely redeemable. He goes an S. Alright, next. Jason Voorhees, I'm putting on King of the Squirrels level because I'm putting him on Bing. Because all his gimmick is he's trying to sell merch. And we know that he's a construction worker / person that directs traffic in New York. And that's pretty much
I didn't get a lot from him on his clips during the charity stream. I agree that he should go there.
Yeah. I will say that there are certain of these characters that just have to instantly go with King, unfortunately. Like, Centaur Mark goes with King. E-Boy Mark goes with King. Cool Patrol Mark goes with King. Like... Bop Mark. Where's Bop Mark? Bop Mark goes with King. Murmur goes with King. And well, actually, this one's weird, and bear with me here. Ludwig von Ballencrusher goes up here.
Why?
Because we actually have backstory for Ludwig von Ballencrusher.
God damn it, really?
We actually do have a backstory and a character motive for Ludwig von Ballencrusher.
Fine, I won't argue with that one then. God damn it. Okay, I'd like to make my own very controversial one apply to this then.
Yeah,
that one.
What's up?
Silver Shepherd needs to go with Bim.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, he does, because he has about as much character development as those. I just hate him. I just hate Silver Shepherd so much. Alright.
Okay, who's...
As much as I love him deeply, I'm gonna put Harold there too, because we know him as a character, we understand his personality, we understand some stuff about him, but at the end of the day, he's not fully fleshed out.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a throwaway type character like the ones in D tier, and he's definitely not like the ones in E tier where we have basically nothing. But he's not nearly fleshed out enough to go above C. I love him personally, based off of what little lore he has and what the community's given him. I love Harold B. Derrinsworth.
Mm-hmm.
But
we don't have a lot of his backstories. We have his motives.
We have his motives. Right? We know that he actually is a massive LGBTQ ally, if not also LGBTQ himself. But we don't know much more than that.
So we have basically for Harold, we have his motives, we have his personality, and we have the content to back him up. We don't have his background information, why he acts like he does.
Yeah.
We
He's also
don't have any
he's
we don't
also
have any
one of the most
complexities in his characters.
I'd say he's
Sorry.
actually he's probably one of the most, if not the most obscure character on this tier list.
For real, which is saying something considering he's so high up. Ah. Okay.
All right, so we're getting down into some interesting ones. So I'm gonna bring out one of the other classics, which is Santaplier. I
God.
actually enjoy Santaplier as a joke. However, I think Santaplier. I part of me wants to put him in F tier because he's a horribly irredeemable person. He's known for just mass murdering his elves.
Yeah, so I kind of...
In drunken rages.
Yeah, I don't... He kind of falls into the really dark Santa stereotype. There's the really cheery holiday Santas, and then there's the really the ones that are like dark humor. They're like, oh my god, he's a slave driver.
From what little we know of Santaplier, he's kind of definitely that last one, especially because what video and content there is of him, he's usually tormenting, torturing, or killing his elves in a blind drunken rage. And he's horrible to other people.
Yeah, so on the topic of, like, content that we have for him, I'd probably put him, like, with Bing and the others, but he's just a really irredeemable... He's not Baby. I hate him.
Yeah.
I don't like Santa.
I think he's funny. I think he's an extremely funny character, but as a just character standpoint, I don't like him as a personal character. I don't know how better to put that. Going to a nicer... Well, you know what? We're going to hold off on heist ones for a second until... I'm going to hold off on those two, too. Jim. Mm-hmm. We actually have backstory for Jim. That is the best part of this. We know the Jims. We know about them. We understand the Jims.
And we know their motives. We also know we have backstory for them. We have the proper content for them. Actually, oh my god. You know what? Have the Jims ever had... I don't think the Jims have ever done anything controversial in nature. I feel like they might actually be eligible to go up on S tier.
They're one of the most redeemable characters of Markiplier's Egos.
They're also one of the most well-known characters.
Mm-hmm. They're
extremely
funny. They're extremely well-known. They have a shit ton of content. And as flat and two-dimensional as they may seem, there is actual backstory to them in the form of their family is all named Jim. They're all Jim. They all look the same. They are all fucking Jim.
Fucking love that.
There are even trans Jims. Their mom is named Jim.
It's really good.
Alright. So the Jims we're putting up on S tier. I'm sure somebody's gonna get mad at us for putting the Jims there, but whatever.
Oh yeah, no, I'm prepared to fight people on this. I'll be honest.
Similarly, Stan the Waterman.
Oh God, no, no, do not.
No, hear me out. Stan the Waterman is an extremely... You know what? I will do this. I'll put him on A tier because he's not completely...
I didn't know who Stan the Waterman was until you told me.
He's not completely redeemable because... We know that he's had anger issues in the past that have probably put him in prison, if not on therapy. We know that he has a tragic backstory, and a really deep tragic backstory. But he is a wholesome, polo-wearing dad that just wants to sell people water, and his best friend is a drug dealer. And he gets caught up in the antics of being friends with a drug dealer on occasion. But he's a very wholesome, kind of naive person with a deep and weirdly fleshed out backstory.
So I will give you that. I will give you that, and I will tell you that I don't think that he should go down on the bottom. But I do have to tell you that I didn't know who Stan the Waterman... Like, he's kind of obscure as an ego.
He is obscure, but that's not entirely what is grading this. It's not the
That's-
obscurity, because to be honest, King of the Squirrels is an extremely well-known character.
Yeah, but his character, he's well known because he's only got one bit.
Yeah, and? So why would we put somebody that has the fleshed out storyline to the level of some of the more thought out characters on Mark's channel? Why would we put him lower down on a tier just because people don't know about him as much?
Alright, I guess that's fair.
To be fair, most people didn't know who Host was until that appearance right there. So...
Really?
Yup.
Dang.
A lot of people didn't. Alright. So, Yandere Plier.
I would put Yandere on G, I think.
Yeah. Yandere Plier... she's definitely not redeemable, too. That's one of her issues. She's not a very redeemable person from what little exists of her.
Yeah, she's kind of creepy.
She is very creepy. But I'll put her here because she has one thing that we've seen. She has some character, but it's not enough to put her any higher than D.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're getting down to some good ones. So,
oh god. I don't like who's down. There's one person who's down there that I know. Oh god.
Yancey is an A tier character. Actually, I would honestly go as far as to say S because we actually do know a lot about him, but I wouldn't put him as... because these guys all have deeply redeemable qualities. I don't find him as redeemable as the ones up there.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, is I think the only thing that's keeping me from putting him as an S... So, Yancey's a lovable character. He bursts into song.
He's baby. He's very wholesome.
He's very baby. He bursts into song. He just wants to stay in prison. The issue is that we know that the way that they stay in prison is... We get this from the clip ending of a Heist with Markiplier. By the way, spoilers. Don't know if you need that, matter. Guys. Yeah. At the end, if you choose to stay with Yancey in prison, he specifically convinces you to kill someone.
Yeah.
Like, that is how they stay in prison. They are killing and actively harming people.
He is a murderer. He has a known body count. But he does have some redeeming qualities, which is a really weird thing to put together. But if Wilford has redeeming qualities and can be an A tier, Yancey is too. Yancey probably has less of a body count for sure, but...
Definitely. Well, Yancey has less of a body count just because I feel like, again, Wilford fucks with time, so we don't really know the logistics of his body count, but Yancey definitely has a big and or more than average body count.
That being said, Yancey's... Well, I personally would say boyfriend, but it's not canon.
It's boyfriend.
Illinois goes an S.
Okay, so I'm gonna fight with you on this one.
Go for it. I'm down for that. I'm absolutely deeply biased too, which is my big issue with that. I think he honestly should go down in C, but he's extremely redeemable in baby, which is my issue here.
So here's where I put him. Are you ready?
Yes.
I think he belongs in B.
Okay.
And my reasoning behind that is because he is very baby as a character. And he is very redeemable in the fact that and this is where most of his baby vibes come from. The only motive that we have for him is the fact that he wants to explore relics and return them if he has them on his person. He's a very Indiana Jones-esque character.
Actually, that's a good point, and unfortunately, the more you're talking about this, the more I'm realizing he actually has to go lower than B. Because he doesn't have much. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't know anything about him as in like backstory, other than the fact that his dad was killed by a boulder. Is what he said.
Then I think we have to put him in D because he has about as much backstory as the other D characters.
But and
okay,
I might
let's
be
compromise.
biased on this. I might
C.
be. That's fair. I like him as a character. I think he's a great character. He's very charming as a character.
He
because of his
is,
vibes.
but a lot of other ones in C are. Well, some of the other ones in C.
I don't know. I don't know if I would say that for the rest of them.
No, Google has some charm. Eplier has some. Bim has some. Not Silver. And Harold actually does have some charming stuff too. But I'm saying C because he doesn't. Shut up. He doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough backstory and character development to be on the level of host and actor.
Then again, we did put the gyms higher though, because they had the backstory of just their family being all named gyms. We don't have any other backstory other than that for them, and we do have the backstory that Illinois' father was killed by a boulder.
So are we saying we do what we do with the gyms and put him on S anyway?
I don't know.
You know what? Fuck it. We did it for the gyms. We did it for the gyms. We're doing it for him. He goes S tier. End of story. Do you know who else goes up close to there? A tier.
Oh, I agree.
Captain Magnum.
I agree.
We don't even need to argue that one. Captain Magnum is
Dad.
Pirate Dad.
I love him.
All right.
Oh God, I don't want to talk about. Oh, he's still there. Why is he still there?
Okay, but here's the issue. There is kind of backstory to He-Who.
No, there isn't.
There is actual character to He-Who, to the point where we actually know so much about him after hunting He-Who, and we know what he does later in life and how he dies even.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna go with. All right. We saw the lore of He-Who unravel. It wasn't just that we got his backstory. We literally saw it unravel. And one of the other characters.
We saw the beginning. We saw the end. We know all about He-Who.
We know all about He-Who. He-Who isn't baby though, so I'm gonna say we should put him in B.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Yes. He-Who can go in B.
I can't believe he's that fucking high. I hate this so much.
Alright, we're down to the last one, and this one's gonna be a difficult one because that's honest. That's actually just honest.
Mm-hmm.
Honest, we know some things about. Honest is egotistical. Honest is brave. Honest is a masochist.
So
we know he's also part of the machine, TM.
Yeah. So the lore. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Right. I would actually like to say that Honest is probably as complicated as a character as Wilford is.
Yes.
I think he falls into that same category.
Okay.
He's also in that category because he's, to our knowledge, Honest has killed Eunice or Ethan and Mark like several times.
Yes.
Over.
And to be fair, Honest was instrumental in destroying the channel and ending his own existence.
Yeah. Me and Blake actually had a conversation about this where we thought that Eunice had I said that Eunice and Honest had killed people like equally on same terms, and I think you said that Honest had killed Ethan more than.
Yeah, we had an argument about that.
Yeah, and I don't think we ever really finished it. But the fact that we had that argument does prove that he has a body count, and to our knowledge, we don't have a reason for why he killed in the first place.
And one of the most important things to remember, too, is that we got more content for Honest than we will ever get for any of the other characters.
We got a year's worth.
Yeah.
A year's worth of content for Honest.
Because what people don't think about is Honest was who Mark was during Una's Honest.
Mm-hmm.
A big thing with that, too, is he's been through storyline after storyline. He's been through multiple plots. As the same person. He even went through a Hunger Games simulator. Technically, that was still part of his story, was the Hunger Games simulator.
Oh, yeah.
And in that one, he
And-
definitely had a body count.
Oh god. And when we're really looking at this, right? When you have a character that is so memorable, so integral that it leaves people wanting more of them, you have a good character.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that is stopping me from putting him in S is that, again, we don't have his motives for killing people. He killed Ethan or Eunice.
I don't think he
killed
needed
Eunice.
motives.
I don't think he needed motives either. I think it was just to further. The only thing that I could think of for that is that it was just to further the point of, like, the channel's going to die soon.
Yeah.
But that's not really a redeemable reason in my eyes.
He's not a redeemable character. He doesn't have nearly as much redeemable qualities. He's not Baby.
Yeah.
He's not
But he
Baby.
is very complex, and he's very memorable.
Yeah.
For the content, all the content that we've been given, all of the years worth of content that we've been given.
Yeah. So definitely, Honest goes on A tier.
Yep.
And that's
This is very even. This is not as even as I thought it was gonna be.
Like, I wish we had more for E tiers, because as far as I'm concerned, I would have put King of the Squirrels up closer to S. But unfortunately, we just don't have enough about those guys canonly, and we can't just go off of what we know in Meridian plotline. So
Yeah, again, that is why we need to we're going to revisit. I'll draw the profile pictures for them when we revisit.
We're going to
that
make
way, you know,
a Meridian specific tier list for this, for you guys, eventually.
Yeah, because all of this is based on their content and what we have of them. So definitely with the fact that Meridian is going to go more in depth, just as Septescape did, because oh my god.
We honestly
we're
should
gonna
probably
have
do
to
a
revisit it.
Septescape one eventually.
We should.
Alright, that being said, this is the end. I need to go eat. John has to go to bed. So,
I've got testing.
yeah. So, thank you for watching this, guys, and we'll eventually do another stream soon and another bunch of content for you guys. Bye.
Love you, players. Bye.